Hey everybody, welcome to the Gauche. I am your host, Zaiden. Today we're going to be talking about Kiely Rodni. She has been officially found. So we'll be talking a little bit about that this morning. Of course, it's 1 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, for you guys just tuning in, sorry it's so late. But this is a ongoing developing story. Adventure with a Purpose had done a sweep at a local lake, Lake Prosser, which is near the Prosser family campground where the supposed party took place. Earlier I was on Nerd Report with Lewis, and there was a report earlier that she was found in Donner Lake, which is actually incorrect. And we'll be talking about that here all in just a few moments, right after this. Hey everybody, welcome to the Gauche. I am Zaiden. I wish I could come on and have happier news. We'll call it bittersweet. So what I got behind me is a map, Google Maps, and I'm going to comb over a little bit about what Adventure with Purpose actually, what they did, or say where they went and where the car was found. and the approximate location. Adventure with a Purpose will be going on live 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be 12 noon for us Eastern Standard Time, folks. But they're going to be going on live to kind of give a breakdown of what they found. What you're about to see today, this morning, is just kind of a small breakdown of what was already discovered. So some of this will be speculative. So just quick speculation warning. And of course, at the end, I do want to pay some respects for Kiely Rodni and her family. So some of you may not be. I'm not sure how many of you are. Oh, there's my speculation warning. Sorry, forgot to put that up. So speculation warning. But we'll be paying some respects towards the end of the stream. And for those of you that are Christian like me, if you want to participate at the very end, which I'll be doing a quick prayer in closing. So I'll leave that up to you guys to follow along. But in the meantime, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll probably briefly open up the live video stream as well for some of you guys to come on in if you want to. But keep in mind that it won't be a very long stream. This is more of a quick update. And again, we're paying respects. So, all right. So how's everybody in the chat so far? Who do we got going on here? Hey, Lisa, good to see you. Dan D, good to see you. See my wife in there. Loopy Miracle. Good to see you all here. So let's go ahead and get things started real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the screen. Let me go ahead and switch formats here real quick so you guys can see in a separate window. So this came from KCRA as to the vehicle being found, the Honda CRV. So what you're looking at right here is a tip of part of that lake where the road comes straight into that area, and the way the car looked when it went into the lake, or when they found it, it looked like somebody had drove it straight in, and possibly at a higher speed or higher rate of speed, which would indicate why the car was actually found a little further out or further away from the shoreline and about 14 feet deep, according to AWP. So AWP did find, and they had to quote that they found a body in the vehicle. They couldn't say it was specifically who it was until the family was notified for identification. So then it was announced later on that it was indeed identified as Kiely Rodni. Let me zoom in. So this is a Adventure with the Post's actual post on Facebook. They broke the news. Again, they're going to be live again, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday. They did find the vehicle 14 feet underwater at Prosser Lake, north of Truckee. Remains were found. And it was identified, the remains were identified as Kiely Rodni. Now, AWP at this point, from our understanding, is actually still there, corroborating all of the intel, evidence, and all that to Sheriff's Department, authorities, etc. A full edit, of course, they said they're going to be disclosing that in the next few weeks in a much more in-depth video on their channel. And of course, they're saying donations, a key factor here as far as their donations. They're saying that's what brought us there, because that's what helps them with their food and their vehicle expenses, with gas, electronics, all the stuff that helps them make these cases be successful. But they are stating adamantly that any reward, money or whatever, they're not accepting, but they're going to be redonating that back to the family because they're more in need of it than they are. So again, this is something that they'll disclose all in detail at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let's transition real quick over to... Now, I can't exactly play the video here, so I just did a freeze frame due to redistribution rights. I cannot play the entirety of this video, but so I just kind of froze it right here for a moment because there is a vehicle that they're pulling out at the very tip of this part of land of Lake Prosser, and it was identified as the Honda CR-V. This is the map. I'm gonna go back to my other map, kind of be like the weather person. You know how they have get in front of the screen here. All right, so over here on this side of my shoulder, this is my right. Of course, the screen's mirrored, so I don't know if that's your right or your left, whatever. So this is Lake Prosser right here. They scoured this entire lake all the way to the depths to look for that vehicle. They double checked, but they already pinged. From my understanding, they actually pinged with their sonar equipment somewhere closer to the north side of this lake. That is the information I am receiving, that might be where the location of the vehicle is at. The others, again, this is why it's speculative, because there's no hard evidence that yet anyway as to where specifically they're pulling this vehicle from. And then there's the area where the campground was located, which was right here where the supposed party took place. Which was Site 4 right there on this side of that whole loop of the campground. Now, there's an access road that goes all the way around up to the boat ramp area here. And if you notice, all around the shoreline here, there is kind of like a service road that kind of goes all the way around. Now, if we look at this closer, obviously that's going to be quite a trek to go all the way around all of this just to come back around all the way over to the top. This is why I'm kind of saying it's probably not... I'm not exactly sure on the accuracy of the report of it being up on the north side of this lake. I do suspect that they're going to disclose that it was somewhere down here around the campground site when they present their information tomorrow, at least in the morning at 9 o'clock Pacific time. With that said, this is just, again, a quick update as to, yeah, Kiely was found in Lake Prosser, not Lake Donner, as some people may have thought or had found before. So this all kind of, again, came to quick development, and I'm just putting it all together right now. So thanks for sticking with me here. Obviously, we want to give Kiely's family a little nod, if you will. We're grieving, and I know you're grieving just a lot. I mean, we can't only imagine how much you guys are grieving right now. So you do have our respects. It's kind of a thing I want, and a lot of parents out there love their children, and I love a lot of the teenagers out there that like to do parties and or whatever else out there. Just know that the parents love you. It's not weird when they try to check up on you, because they really care about you. Communication is always important when it comes to things like this, when you're kind of going into an area that's a little bit off the grid, and that's why it's even more important to stay in contact with your family, loved ones, friends that are close to you. Now, I can go into a full speculative mode here, and I'm not going to do that tonight. But what I am going to do is I will set it up that this week we're going to let AWP have their speech. We'll let the news do their thing tomorrow, throughout the day tomorrow. We'll kind of pick up whatever pieces they have, see what they have to say, what evidence they may have found, etc. Because we're still kind of on speculative mode here, and I don't want to get too ahead of the game without knowing what's going on first. So when I open up the call lines, we're going to keep speculative down at a minimal. We're going to go ahead and stick with really kind of the facts. If we have any questions about this area, we'll do that. But so I'll go ahead and drop the line. So if anybody wants to come in, we'll have a discussion. And we will leave it at that. And like I said, at the end of the stream, we're going to pay some respects. And then at the very end, I'm going to kind of lead in prayer. So if anybody wants to join in, that's fine. You're not obligated to stay at that point if you don't want to, if you're uncomfortable. All right, here's the link. I just sent it. Real quick too, obviously these streams are not possible without you. Appreciate, of course, everything that you guys do in the community, in the Gauche, Nerd Report. I got to give him some credit. Lewis, thank you for always being a hard-working guy. So, not, you know, tip of the hat for you there. And that link I just sent is the StreamYard link to come on in. I am also going to post real quick my link tree. This has got some of my information regarding if you'd like to donate, become a patron, etc. I use Cash App. I also use PayPal. If you guys have a PayPal account to log in, you can do it that way. So any donations obviously helps this channel grow, as well as help keep the equipment updated. I am building my way up to bigger and better equipment. I'm kind of a graphics editor kind of guy, so you'll know I'll do a bunch of graphic stuff on the stream as well. Just kind of making this thing happen. So any help does help kind of re-put back into the community and the efforts behind it with these streams. So let me go ahead and see who is on the line. I'm gonna bring you in. I believe we got Phil. Let me go ahead and switch gears here for just a second. Mr. Phil. There you are. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Bittersweet, but you know, it's one of those moments where you feel like, okay, we've got some closure now. In this case, and what I mean by that is we found Kiely, and also the Honda CR-V, which may or may not have evidence for the authorities to continue their investigation. Again, we're gonna wait for obviously AWP to make their live stream at 9 o'clock tomorrow Pacific, and I'm sure the news will be following suit with that as well. So that's where we're kind of at, Phil. But how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I've just been researching a little bit on my own and seeing what's out there, and I told some people Donner Lake before, but it is Placer Lake, like you said, or whatever that lake is. I forgot the one that's up here besides that one.
Yeah, Prosser Lake is what they said.
Prosser, yep. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been doing some more research, and I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more tomorrow. But I want to give my respects to the family and stuff. So.
Amen, man.
Amen.
So thanks for coming along, Phil. Appreciate it, buddy. So let me go ahead and switch gears one more time here. Let's see if I can't get you and this. Here we go. So here's the lake. I use Google Maps here, but to kind of highlight on some things here. Obviously, that's the party area that Kiely and said guests were at, and there was some speculation as to the vehicle where either it went into the water over here somewhere. Could anywhere that is near that boat ramp access. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Or where some of us, or some of the resources I've found state that at the north point of this island here, or excuse me, north point of the lake, is where the car may have been discovered. Now, I suspect if the car, depending on the rate of speed it went into the water, it could have drifted to a certain point, maybe towards the north side of this lake. That's also possible. And again, speculation. I'm not going to get into it too much as to why, but just the science behind it. If a car goes into a lake at a super fast rate of speed, it immediately slows down when it hits the water, but the drift, the gravity and all the inertia that goes with it into the water creates more like a forward float effect.
Yes.
So the depth of this lake actually goes down pretty quickly, but they did find it at 14 feet deep, which tells me either that car had some air in it as it didn't sink right away going forward, and then finally it sunk, which I suspect is what happened, and it went through up through the lake to the north side. I think it actually came from the boat ramp area on the south end. That's my, of course, speculative guess, educated guess, whatever you want to call it. Or we'll hear, like I said, we'll hear more about that tomorrow. What are your thoughts, Bill, overall?
Well, supposedly she was driving on the road, right?
So, well, if that's true, I mean, this is technically a road on the south side because it goes, you know, right through to the boat ramp access. Had, let's just say, hypothetically, she wanted to have a joyride, and go super fast or whatever the case is. Again, I'm not going to go diving into that. But that high rate of speed, if you see this road, it goes up this way. If you're going to high rate of speed, you get in that lake and it floats. It probably will sink right in this area, which, right? You see that? All right. And then, of course, I go over to the actual report from KCRA, which you can't really see it too well, but in this area is where that car is being pulled out of the lake right there, which looks to be like the northern tip of this lake right in here, because there's a road access right off of that point. So that's where I suspect maybe they went to pull the vehicle out. But I do think the car went in from the south end of the lake, just the way it all kind of looks, in my opinion.
Well, my thought on the current in the water, I'm speculating here again, just want to make that clear.
Sure.
When it hits the water and it like, I don't know if it got airborne or it just went directly off the boat ramp. If there was any little bit of air, the current in the lake, and if the windows, if a window or windows were open, the force of the waves of the lake could have, like they said, turned the car over. They found it flipped over in the lake. Speculation. We don't know that completely yet. But if there was any air or possible air that got in the vehicle, it could have easily took on water and sunk quicker, or it could have took on water, stayed on top of the water for a little bit, and then finally, like you said, sunk. And
right.
I don't know. 14 feet for a lake like that, it's not like unheard of, but that, I mean, if they said if that might be the bottom or maybe not, I don't know how deep that lake is.
They were saying that it was going as deep as 60 to, or approximately 60 feet at its deepest point. So my thought was, okay, if that's true and the car was found at 14 feet deep, you can kind of see the lighter colors on this map over here on the north side. where that would indicate shallow water.
Yeah.
Which, if indeed, and again, this is a theory, speculative. Let's say the boat ramp access road here coming from the south end, whoever's in the vehicle guns it and hasn't sunk yet, floats across, and I'm thinking of the current as well. You know, I just kind of showed you the dam side of the lake, depending on what's coming in and out of the dam there. And then you got the shallow end here, so the car may have not sunk fully here. It was still full of air, windows being up, depending on how airtight the cabin was. Again, inertia with a water current could have maybe drifted that car over to this point where it was found. That's again a speculative theory on my part, but I think you're right. There's two things that go into this. You have the current, and then of course inertia that is carrying the car depending on its rate of speed when it actually hit the water, and the inertia motion that follows suit with that, and like you said, the current that kind of helps push it along.
The wave current that was created by the car coming into the lake. You know, the waves going back and forth or whatnot.
So that's what we suspect. As far as what happened on the physical side of how the car got to where it was. So once again, this isn't going to be a really long stream today, guys, but this is kind of like a heads up as to what's going on. AWP finding the vehicle. It would appear to be at the north side of this lake, at about 14 feet depth, and we'll just find out, I guess, a lot more tomorrow when they bust this open at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 12 Eastern. So how about anybody in the comments? Do we have anybody that wants to kind of pay any respects? If you want me to bring you in, again, the link has been posted. If you want to come on in. Any last words for us, Phil, that you would like to disclose or talk about?
I just want to reiterate. I want to give my deepest thoughts and prayers to the family, and the family overall is the. I don't want to say, well, they are a victim because they lost a child. Yes, they're very much a victim, but I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to the family and friends who lost Kiely, and just you have my deepest sympathy and thoughts and prayers.
Right on, Phil. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, and everybody in the chat kind of on point with this too. It's sad. It's really sad that this happened. Nobody wants to see their child be in this predicament, right? And it's gonna take a little while to heal. So we definitely will, and I'm at this point I'm just paying respects to that family without going into too much weird theoretical discussion. Again, we could do that later in the week after the reports come out. I'm gonna bring Lisa in real quick with cricket sounds.
With her crickets.
Oh, sorry.
It's almost poetic justice for me.
I'm always outside. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Some of you may understand that I do on my normal broadcast something called Zaiden Zingers.
Weird theoretical.
So it's my little dad joke thing, but I'm going to keep that at a minimum today, just so we can keep our respects over to Kiely's family today. But how you doing, Lisa?
I'm good. You know, I really am. I'm relieved that they found Kiely. You know, there were so many different avenues that people were trying to think about what could or couldn't have happened. And unfortunately, this is something that I kind of thought, as someone who grew up in an area close to this area, because I do know that things like this happen. Um, and, you know, my thoughts and prayers are with her family. Um, I know that it doesn't answer a lot of questions, but at least their hearts can hopefully be at rest a little bit, knowing that they found their little girl, you know?
Right, right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, you know, I'm 48 years old, and my mother always, even when I visit her, is like, if you're not coming home, call me. Or if you're gonna be late, call me. And, I said it was overprotective and stuff like that, but then somebody mentioned, it's not that they're overprotective, it's that they love you. And that's the thing, is that, no matter how old I get, I'm always going to be my mom's little girl, and it is that she loves me. And yeah, I mean, I don't, I'm just, I'm happy, even though this is a sad, sad situation, I'm happy that they found her.
I hear you loud and clear, Lisa. My dad used to, when I was younger, my port of call, if you will, was his whistle.
Yeah.
Right before, it was two factors. It was either A, hear the whistle, get your butt home in 10 minutes. The second is if the lights come on, and if I'm not home by then, so I don't get strike three, I only strike two. But that was a good discipline for me, because that makes me understand, okay, they care about you. I mean, that's just growing up. They care about you. They want to make sure you're safe. Your parents are, legal guardians, your loved ones that want you to be safe. Growing up in those kind of situations, we come to that understanding. So that is their way of loving us, even when it's uncomfortable sometimes as teenagers. But it helps prevent things like this from happening. It helps you respect those rules for a very important reason. And this is going to be one of those, we all kind of learned a very valuable lesson here. So, that doesn't mean you have to handcuff your kid to the guardrail at the house, but
No.
you want to instill some good moral values when it comes to safety. So I think that would be a big lesson there. Obviously, the other point to this is, we don't know exactly what happened specifically yet. That, again, we'll wait for tomorrow to develop, to understand more. But I meant, like, safety all around, whether you're participating or somebody else is participating in that endangerment scenario, to be aware of your safety, your surroundings. Are you at a point of intoxication where you can't even, walk straight? You need to make a phone call. I think, wisdom needs to take place there. So that's what I take from this, and it is a very sad ending. But of course, at the same time, it is a form of closure because they found their daughter. It's just an unfortunate side of the coin. Yeah.
No, I was hopeful that they would find her, in a better situation, but like I said, at least they did find her. And I mean,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
it's heartbreaking. It really is. I mean, there's been a small group of us that have really tried to raise awareness for her, and it's just sad that this is the outcome. So
Yeah, I can say the positive side to this is how involved we were in a community to finding Kiely, and how important that brings attention to the public, especially through social media. When we have hearts where we actually want to find these missing people, I think it's very important that we stay involved in these kind of situations, especially for channels that are heavily focused on finding missing persons. AWP is a very mind-focused group of people that will look for cold cases, which typically, and I would say unfortunately, end up in them being found in the unfortunate manner that they be found in. But without that, we wouldn't have the closure to know what happened to that individual. So we have to obviously give kudos to those out there that do find and get the equipment to find these individuals. Kudos to all the other channels bringing attention to this that are not specifically heavy into missing person cases, but takes the time out to actually do some reporting on that. And I bring Lewis back into this because Nerd Report took a direction on this which we became passionate about. Briefly on Popcorn Planet, same deal. There was like Grizzly, I forgot her entire channel name, but I think she calls herself
Grizzly True Crime.
Thank you, Grizzly True Crime. She was heavy in it as well. So these are just some channels, for example, that were getting involved into the investigation in a passionate way, where we're not battling each other, trying to say, hey, we're right or wrong, but we're actually trying to find out some more information to the case and finding that individual. I think that's important. And I think also what's important here is that we're also noticing local authorities taking notice to this, and they actually called out to AWP for help. So these authorities in certain communities are actually seeing some of these channels and seeing what they can do to help with these cases, which I believe is also equally important as to why we're here. So a pat on the back, kudos to everybody that was involved to getting this case solved. So I can't say that we thank them enough. And with that said, I mean, going forward, we'd like to see more of that in the communities going forward in the future. So with that said, I will start closing things up, but I just want to go ahead and ask Phil. You already had a kind of a last word, but is there anything you want to plug? Did you say you had like a channel you're in development with?
I'm revamping my old channel. It's just my name. I don't have it right now. I don't have it. I can't put it in the comments.
Okay.
But I'm revamping my channel. I will post it in one of the Telegram groups. So just and it's gonna be kind of the same content, kind of a mixed bag of stuff. But I hope we can all bring awareness to just cases like this and missing children, even adults. You know, if they turn up missing, you know, I think it's I think as a community we're all bringing awareness to every situation that's brought to us through the regular media. Just all the community, I'm grateful for all of you helping out. You know, I'm always helping out in the backgrounds and the front grounds, and starting to be more on different channels. So thanks, Zaiden, for doing what you do, and thanks to the entire community, Lewis, Nerd Report, Popcorn Planet, and Steph as well, and Kim.
All right, Lisa, do you have anything you want to say, plug, or anything before we
Well, I
conclude?
don't have anything to plug, but again, my heart goes out to her family. I hope that they can have some kind of peace knowing that she has been found. And again, this is, it's a sad day. And, I'm glad to be a part of, the community that we're all in. So, yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that I'm with a group of people who really did care about this and really tried to put the word out there to help find this young lady. So, yeah,
Awesome.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
We'll take a look at the comments real quick here. Thank you very much, Lisa. Jen D. Glad AWB found the vehicle so quickly after Kylie's disappearance. And they did find that vehicle quickly. It was like right after the first day. So,
Yeah,
great job.
They really did. They really did.
I didn't even take them long at all. So, they
I
really know what they're doing.
think they kind of had an idea. I think we're in the general vicinity. I'm just going to say that. I don't know where it was. If they didn't, they couldn't have found it that fast. And they did a spectacular job locating the vehicle as it was.
Yeah, Wendy Davis, we see you, your first time viewer. Thanks for popping on in here from Popcorn Planet. Appreciate that. Thanks for following this case as well. So with that said, everybody, we're going to go ahead and close out. Let's go ahead and pay some respects to the family of Kiely. And what I'll do is I'll do kind of like we did on Nerd Report. We're going to do a little bit of a 10-second pay your respect moment. So I'll go ahead and start that counter here. And we'll start right now. All right, thank you guys. Thank you everybody. All right, so as we wrap up here, just an FYI, as I said before, I'm going to actually, right before we close, I'm going to actually go into a quick prayer for you guys that are joining in that are comfortable with that. That's fine, stick along, and those that are not obligated, but I'll leave that up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of shift gears to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that probably here in the next 30 seconds. So just an FYI, I'll go ahead and do a quick shout out to anybody that does want to support the channel and everything we're doing. We do have our link tree. Not trying to promote, we don't want money just for money. We want to be able to grow and be able to be involved with the community just like you guys. So all right, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and lead in prayer. So if y'all want to hang out with me, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that. So dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your presence with us. God, thank you for helping out with adventure with purpose, finding Kiely in the vehicle. God, we just ask you to cover Kylie's family and friends and everybody that's watching that may be grieving. Cover their hearts, God, as we go through the grieving process. Lord, we know that you do what you do is for good. Even though this is bittersweet, God, we are thankful that that Kiely was found, and then that the parents can actually grieve properly. God, please just be with everybody in this moment as we begin the healing process. And we just pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, everybody. So that concludes the show today. Thank you, Phil, for coming in. Lisa, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. Love you guys. With that said, Zaiden out.